Hi, this is Dr. Megan Parks. We are going to go a little bit more into cycle syncing, and we're going to be doing this by talking about the various phases. So today we're going to start by kicking it off on the very first phase, which is called the menstrual phase. This is actually, it starts on the day one that your period starts. Most people, as I said in previous video, we're all unique. So typically the menstrual phase is around day 1 through day 5. Some people are less, some people are more. But when we're bleeding, this is what it starts this phase. So going into it, when we think about the menstrual phase, I like to say, think reset. You're resetting the cycle. You're resetting a new start. This is when your body, it basically, if you think about it, it's shedding its uterine lining, and this is why we are bleeding. Because of this, our energy can dip, because think about that. When you are bleeding, your iron's going to be low. Some of your minerals are going to be low. So this is a very common time to feel just tired and fatigued. At this point too, because of the reset, your hormones are low. Both progesterone and estrogen are at the lowest at this point. So I just talked about the hormone focus, but what is our goal during this phase of the cycle? As I said, we're bleeding. We really need to focus on iron. So we need to make sure our iron is up there. A lot of times this is when I'm going to recommend supplementing with iron. Most women that I meet, we tend to have low iron, especially if you are having a cycle. Every once in a while, I have a few who don't, and that can be even more harmful than if you do have low iron. So labs are going to be the big way to tell us this. But again, we need to focus on making sure our iron levels are high enough, our minerals. And again, because the iron can be low and because we're going through this and the hormones are low, we need to really be able to support rest in our body. We really need to also be detoxing. Fun fact, I'm also a chiropractor. So as a chiropractor, I look at the spine. And most people, when they come to me, they're like, okay, it's because I have pain. But the whole purpose of the spine is to protect those nerves. And when we think about the nerves function is going from the brain to each part of our organ, each part of our system, and telling us to do something. And I love this because if I was to say, Megan, heartbeat, Megan, heartbeat, Megan, heartbeat, Megan, lungs, breathe, Megan, lungs, breathe, I honestly I'd give up. Like, I wouldn't last long. And so thankfully, our brain has that communication. And when we look at the nerves and where they're going to the body, particularly when we talk female organs and we talk constipation, diarrhea, they sit on top of each other. Another cool fact about the body is your body, if something is not working or something's not signaling or something is put under stress, it always goes to the thing above it and the thing below it. So if something's not working, it's going to affect. It's why, if we're going to be honest, most females can tell you pretty quickly when something, like when their period's going to be starting. A lot of us will have to go to the bathroom. TMI, guys, but hey, we do. And it's because your organ's getting ready to go to your female. They're getting stressed. They're getting put under task. And so it is automatically causing the one above and below to overreact. So this is why a lot of us have the urge to go to the bathroom before we start our period. And again, this is also a great time to start detoxing those organs and those systems. So how can we feed our body so that our body can actually work for us? I'm all about making our body work for us instead of working against it. And if you can tap into that, you're not stressing your body out. Things are a lot more go with the flow and a lot more easier. So as we said, not a shock, we're looking at iron-rich foods. So what are some things that are iron-rich foods? These are spinach, beets, stews, because a lot of stews have those red meats into them. Soups. We're coming up, at least when I'm doing this, I'm coming up on the fall. And so soups and stews, that sounds amazing at this point. Another thing that you really need to focus on are your healthy fats. So, another side fun fact, your body only releases fat when it's given fat. So if some of these diets and these gurus and these fad things were no fat, low fat, I cringe every single time because your body goes into the starvation mode. And if you are not given fat, it's like, well, I got to hold on to this. And because I don't know when I'm gonna get any more. And so you're actually not releasing fat. So this is a great time. Get those healthy fats. So you can find them in avocados. You can also find them if you like fish, your salmon, or even you can substitute if you're not a seafood eater. I like fish oil. In fact, there's some research out there that will say krill oil is even more for like beneficial to women. Again, that's been more of a recent issue, articles and different things. But again, whether you're taking fish oil or krill oil, getting that good omega fats is going to be huge for you. Another thing that you really need to focus on during this time is hydration and magnesium. And the reason why, and again, we talk about cramps, but the reason why you get cramps, if you're dehydrated, your muscle's going to cramp. If you are lacking magnesium, calcium, or potassium, I instantly know if someone's coming to me and they're saying that they're cramping, those are the things I'm thinking of right away. To confirm it or to figure out what the exact thing is, blood tests are going to tell you that all day long. But making sure that we are already making sure we have enough minerals and having a good supplement that has magnesium, or the foods that we eat that has it, or making sure that we're having enough water. Typically, when we look at water, we should be drinking half our body weight in ounces. So for example, if you are 100 pounds, you should be drinking 50 ounces of water. If you are 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. Now, I tend to tell people if you weigh over 200 pounds, I like to max it out on 100 ounces. But again, most of us are not getting enough water. And then the problem is now you're dehydrated. Your muscles are going to naturally cramp. And that's going to make this phase of your cycle just be pure misery. Some other foods that you can really focus on. Again, some of us eat meat, some of us don't eat meat. So there's so many different options from beef bone broth to kale to red lentils. I love pumpkin seeds, and I know Costco carries them, and I believe Sam's Club does, but Costco has these pumpkin seeds with sea salt. They are delicious, but they help with the magnesium. They help with this part, and it's fantastic if you're able to add that in. If you are a meat eater, again, red meats would be a great time, especially if you do red meats, and again, different health conditions. I'm talking in general. Some people are not able to, but the red meat contains blood, which contains iron. And so again, this is a good way to replenish that iron naturally. So now we've talked a little bit about the food, but what kind of exercises, what kind of movement is really important, really a good to focus? And although estrogen is at this lowest, and we're going to talk estrogen in the next video and going a little bit more into estrogen, but at this point, again, I'm going to go back to the iron. The iron's low. We're exhausted. You could, which some of us do, myself included, we just push ourselves and more and more and more. This is not the phase to do this. Again, your iron's low. You're tired. And although you can do this, you're working against your body. This is a perfect time to do like gentle yoga, to do stretching, restorative walks. What I mean by restorative walks, we're not pumping our arms. We're just moving. I'm going to really hit that. There's so many of us, and maybe I'm just speaking to myself, but we just more. We need to do more. We need to, eat less. We need to do this. This is not the time, because when your iron's low, when your body's exhausted, you pushing into it. I said in a different video, females particularly, we are super sensitive to cortisol and insulin and stress. So if we're stressing our bodies out in a time that we're already fatigued and running low, we're working against ourselves. We're causing that insulin to spike, that cortisol to spike, which in turn is causing belly fat. And then we're sabotaging. Again, this is your reset. Take the moment to reset. Rest is going to be hugely, hugely productive during this phase of the cycle. Now, let's talk about a little bit even in productive activities. So, as I was saying it's a great time. Just let go. Evaluate what's working. This is a perfect reset, perfect restart. Maybe last month didn't go well for you, but guess what? It's a new day. It's a new start of my cycle, and I can win. And I can start with this. Start by reflecting. Start by journaling. You can even do vision casting. These are really, really good. If you are able to, some of us, we don't always have the control. Sometimes life is beyond chaotic, from work to family to anything, just even sometimes the self-imposed things that we put on ourselves. But if you're able to, I really, really ask you to try to do these low pressure tasks. Try just to slow down, just to reflect, and start this month right, because here in a minute, we're going to be talking about the follicular cycle, and this is when we can unleash what we've been holding back. Thank you so much, and feel free to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of these other tips.